All right, let's see what we can find down here at the entry level. Whole another huge green screen. Like I was saying earlier, green screening you can do on a dime. And it doesn't have anything to do with the camera, it doesn't have anything to do, it just has to do with, if the background is a certain color, when you come back to your editing software, you're gonna go ahead and filter that out. And you can put any type of background you want on it. Like we saw earlier, where they even changed the desk that the person was speaking from. Pretty neat stuff. And we've done a little bit of that in the past. It's just a lot of work to get it exactly perfect. All right, I don't know where we want to go next here. This is the Bolin, these are the upper level screens here. We already saw them with the sound booth. Do you think we could get into the sound booth do you could get the old dolly in there? We don't see how wide your door opens. We're gonna go in and see how your sound booth room is.
Go for it. Should be 36 inches.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna let you go in first. That way you can shoot back this way here. We're shooting live right now.
All right.
So, all right. I'm not going to say anything just for a second. This is how quiet a sound room is. I can go ahead and do all kinds of things in here. There's no outdoor noise, there's no static, there's no ambient noise flowing through the camera and so forth. This looks like what they built here is like a 6-inch wall. What they have panels here that help absorb the sound. Up here they have panels absorbing the sound. They're absorbing the sound on the ceiling. And I probably, it's even, so a little booth.
Cleanest audio I've ever had.
So my camera is saying this. So this is the cleanest audio that he ever heard before. I think it must be quiet just for a second to see what kind of quietness we can get out of this. Could you hear my heart beating? I bet you could. So this thing's like a vault. I think I could store all my valuables and my gold in there too. I think this thing's bulletproof. Nice job, really, really nice. So you got a chance to experience a soundproof room. All right, let's go behind this. We want to stay away from these concrete walls so we don't lose ourselves here. Are we still good? I'd say we move out here in the middle as quick as we can.
You know, not really.
So I'm looking around the room here. There seems to be a lot of wireless technologies that are here. So let's come back around this side. Or better yet, let's just head on down here. A lot of audio equipment, a lot of wireless through here. So these are probably a lot of wireless technologies, wireless headsets. If you have your team that's working with you, they ought to be able to communicate together. Let's say you had, like for the parade, we had 3 cameras that were running it simultaneously. So what we had is all the camera folks all had headsets with walkie-talkies. Were able to talk to each other so they knew exactly what type of feeds that they wanted to switch to next. And that was all being communicated back to the director back in the sound room, believe it or not, in our motorhome, that was keeping track of feeding the feed the way it was going to work. Which parts of the feeds were going to come up next, I should say. A lot of empty space in here again. A lot of empty space. I think that we talked about this at CES, and one of the things we talked about was this idea of artificial intelligence software doing some of the work that somebody else is doing. And I think we're slowly starting to see more of that in here. I've seen a few places that have talked about it in here. I didn't put a lot of attention to it because it's not really necessary at the level that we're trying to talk about today. But I think that you're going to see more and more stuff. We talked about earlier a piece of software that's able to convert, let's say, a 480i video, which is a very, very old resolution, to a 1080p, which is not even top of the line. And I think we'll find in the future here is we'll find more and more software that's able to even take us, let's say, from 480, take us all the way up to 4K or 8K, and figure out what in the world that picture looked like and fill in all the blanks. It's interesting stuff. Headsets. All kinds of headsets here. Wireless camera going by.
Like 90 degrees.
Remote control. Other cameras. These are, they make a lot of small cameras for hidden work. I got to show this camera over here. Maybe swing around this side so we get the profile from it. When I first looked at it, I thought, look at that. It's a Canon. It's a camera. Remote control camera. All right, more cases over here. Another studio, all the studio equipment. We're finding a lot of companies, they're seeing this market, they want to jump into the market, no matter if it's cameras, because this stuff is not that complicated to do even at this level. So today, for somebody to design and put together, let's say a 1080p camera, it's much easier to do today than it was just a few years ago. Then tomorrow will be even easier. So you have more and more people that are going to come out with 1080p cameras, or even 4K cameras, 8K cameras, and thereabouts. I want to run around here. I saw some panels I want to look at and see what they were like. Some of the wall mount cameras you'll see, like this one here, you can barely see the line between them. Some companies are doing a better job. The LEDs are a little bit tight on this one. This would not be for doing stuff that's really close-up work. This would be something that would be done way in the background. Like when you're in Vegas, you look at some of the buildings that have the big LEDs. This is probably what you're looking at, but you're looking at it so far away that it all blends together, and you're going, man, that's really sharp TV. Let's come back and loop around over this way. So, LG monitors, what we were trying to find here back at CES, and I know they're probably not going to have it here, a monitor that comes out of a box. And what happens is a flexible monitor, it comes back up, there's your monitor, your full TV screen, and it goes back and down into the little box. They're not going to have it here. We tried to find it there, and we knew it was there, but we just couldn't figure out who to talk to see where it really was. LG is a company that makes a lot of monitors. This is ultra wide. Let's look at the distance on it. So now you say, well, all right, so what is ultra wide, Eric? I could have the same thing on my desk here, but I'd have to have three separate monitors. I don't have the division in between them anymore, but I still have my 3 monitors. So this is something that we're going to see more. This is not the entry-level stuff or second-level stuff. This is stuff that you're probably getting into the 3rd or 4th level, getting into this industry. I love this big square one.
I just rented 3 slot machines.
Transparent. We did see this at CES. It's amazing stuff here. If you look on the other side of it. I can see through it. So, imagine your window in your house, and you want to make sure that it looks like when you're gone, that there's somebody walking around your house so nobody comes and steals stuff here. I can look out through this, and we're going to move the camera around the other side here and show the other side of it here in just a second. So let's show the other side. So just as a fun thought, you got your house, your windows now show your walk around moving, and now let's look at the other side. I'm going to step in front. Is that okay?
Right ahead, Steph.
So now here's your window on your other side of the house.
Hey, John.
I can still see through it. These technologies, we were showing a couple technology at CES that are really tightening up in this effort. You might have a wall or a window that you have a stained glass in. And you go, you know what? I don't. Stained glass, when you put it in, it's that stained glass forever. Here you can move and change it to anything you want to change it into. Earlier they had something that was being broadcasted. It was really clean. There we go. So you're a bar, a store, or something like this. Your glass on the outside, you want to put an advertisement on it, and you still have glass that your customers can still see out of. Is it super clean on the other side? It's not. It's getting there. This is amazing, amazing new technology. We're going to see this all over the place, more and more all the time here. One to watch for. This is definitely one to watch for.
Transparent. Early
But you have to turn it off for that. You didn't blind yourself. I just can't help but watch that. Every time I look at that piece of glass, I get more and more ideas of what it should be. Maybe you could swing back around here because I have some other things I want to talk about on it here. All right. So let's talk about other things. It might be glass that separates two offices, and you just don't want a piece of glass there. You have something that you can do this. How about doing full displays in an office where normally it's a piece of glass when it's off, and then next thing you know, it's your video board for you doing your presentation on. I talked about the stained glass before. This is not really it doesn't have a lot to do with the NAB, necessary National Association of Broadcasters, but I'm glad it's here because we can talk about it. This is something that's coming out that's going to change everything. Let's sneak down this way here if we get through the crowd here. Adapters changing signal to signal. A lot of that in here. Everybody has a signal that they got to figure out how to convert to something else. And make sure, or sometimes what they do, instead of converting to something else, they're cleaning up the signal, because every time you go through a piece of equipment, there's a couple things that happens. You're going to have some kind of loss. You can't do anything about it. And the other thing you're going to have is latency, a little lag time. And you're going to find that when you're getting at the beginning level and the second level, you're going, oh my gosh, how come everything has a delay? Even our signal they're pushing out here today, it's about a 30-second delay, and that's about the best we can do today. Or at least for what we're doing. Without having a satellite broadcast outside or something like that, that's just the way it's going to be. The internet slows everything down drastically. The internet doesn't make things fast, it makes things slower. All right, I think we need to come back around this side here. We use a lot of different Swift equipment. Swift makes nice light boxes. They make a lot of nice equipment. This is a good entry level. Swift equipment does not cost a lot of money. They make nice lights. I don't see our lights that we use here, but I know they're there. Most of the lights you want to use, for example, the light we're using on the camera here, which I don't know if we even talked about it earlier, is it has a battery on it, and actually that battery is just a regular Sony type mount battery, or I think it's an N something battery, and it just snaps on there and that's it. And he can change the temperature level, and he can also change the lighting level on it. Swift does good stuff. I like their stuff. It's within the market that we can bear. All right, I'm not sure what we're walking into. But it's telling me Grass Valley, I need to love it. And I'm assuming what we're looking at here is a lot of different contractors that are getting together to do different products. I like it. Like it a lot. Water break. Liam, do you need one too? Huh? You need one? You need one real quick?
Talk about light back.
All right, let's head across here. See what we find on this side. It's not as exciting as it was earlier. I like the switch stuff. We already talked about that. Some of this stuff is communication controls. If you've got a place that has a lot of stuff going on, you need software to figure out how it all comes together. Way outside of what we're looking for today. Different rack-mounted studio equipment. All right, let's come over here. Let's see what we're doing here. NewsNet, so search engines is trying to come up with some type of way, because you've got to make sure that you can promote your product. If you're not promoting your product out there, the search engines aren't picking you up, then it's word of mouth. So how big is your audience actually going to come out and be? It's going to be very, very, very small. So what you got to do is you got to find out other ways to get people to come to your site. It's a challenge. It's what they call SEO, search engine optimization. I think that there are a lot of things that, for example, tricks that we're doing today that are actually getting our audience numbers up. And some of that has to do with actually doing parallel written content or text, so they all come together. Anyway, that's for a whole different program. I looked at this over here on the side here, and my first thought was, it's like a big octopus grabbing him and getting ready to throw him around the room.